Dave's of Thunder is taped before a live studio audience.
Dave, 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 Dave. Dave, 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 Dave. Dave, Dave, and Dave. Dave, Dave, and Dave. David and Dave, Dave, Dave.
Hi and hello, podcasters. It's your old pal Dave Damashek here. David Feeney up there, up the coastline, I mean. Welcome to Dave's of Thunder, episode whatever. Good times await your ears and especially your eyes. If you go to our YouTube page, Dave's of Thunder, subscribe there and you will see the glorious Pacific Ocean looming just behind David Feeney. Literally, the sand between his toes. He's on the edge of the continent there. I got some important stuff to tell everybody within the sound of my voice in just a second here. But first, let's say hello to our fella up there on a little vacation. Fancy, Tony stuff. How'd you get a beach house, David Feeney?
Aloha, Bubby. How are you?
Aloha, you say?
Nothing would be better than if you were here, but you're not here. I understand it. It's fine. I'm here with my wife and my daughter. It's the best. I'm here in Carpinteria, California. Just a spin from Santa Barbara, California. And it's the best. We're here. We're having a week off. We got a house. We're doing the thing. We're by the ocean. I'm in the waves. I got a date with a dolphin later. It's just been the best. It's just been the best.
You're long overdue for this. In fact, everybody in our society is owed this. In 2020, given the last 6 months, everybody owes it to themselves to go to the Pacific Ocean. And we've talked about this before. The Atlantic, it has many charms. I have not dipped myself, full disclosure, into the Atlantic Ocean since I don't even know when, but I did grow up, take and dive into it in Bethany Beach, Delaware, and Rehoboth Beach, and Atlantic City, Maryland, and so on.
You've never liked the Atlantic, and you told me why a long time ago. It's because if it can take down Titanic, it can take down me.
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's right. Little known fact to some of the BTLs and monkeys out there, the more overzealous ones. Damashek, flesh and blood, just like everybody else. I'm ultimately just a man, much like what happens to Clark Kent when he gets into that, or Superman, when he gets into that thing, he gets turned into just a man in Superman 2. I think that's the line. Now just a man. All right. I don't even want to get down. That's from the outtake.
How great is Superman 2 when he becomes a human being? The man can't get a dinner. He can't get a dinner by himself with Lois without getting his ass kicked. He goes to some crazy diner. And
this one's just a minute steak. This one's just a minute steak, right?
Because what does he say? It was my favorite line, and I say it all the time to Mrs. Feeney. When he's like, "Come on, Rocky, come on," he's like, "Put a flame under it." That's what he says about the steak. Put a flame under it. It's a minute steak.
Anyhow,
he kicks Clark's ass. Just where we're going. He kicks Clark's ass, and then what does Lois do? Makes him walk home. The next thing you see after he's cleaning up his blood, the next thing you see is him on the road walking to North Pole.
Not home, right?
And where is she? How come she can't drive him?
You think Balboa had it rough? Now that was self-imposed when he went up to Siberia to try and redeem his lost pal Apollo Creed, who lost his life at the hands of Drago. He went to Siberia, and using nothing more than grit, he scaled the side of a mountain in his training effort. This time, Clark Kent, he has to walk from whatever, I don't know, hole-in-the-wall diner that they stumble into. Lois is so put off by mortal Clark Kent that she forces him, like you say, to walk back to the North Pole. On his feet, he has to walk. He's just a regular man now. I'm surprised he survived that trek. Anyway.
I think that's exactly right. But as you know, that's the reason why they did that, is because that was all a reshoot. Because Richard Donner directed it. They shot the first one and second one at the same time. You know the story?
No, I had no idea that's
They shot the first. I'm going in the house now.
Okay.
I'm going to go outside in the back. They shot the first one and second one at the same time, Richard Donner. Richard Donner gets fired. Then they have to have Richard Lester, I believe his name is, who directed Hard Day's Night. He came in and had to direct the rest of the second one and reshoot some stuff because in order to put his name on it, he had to reshoot some things. Like the movie had to be like 30% his or 50% his or 60%, something like that.
And so because of that, they had to do some reshoots, and that was one of those scenes they reshot.
I had no idea. Well, anyway, David Feeney making the ultimate sacrifice for you, the BTLs and monkeys right now, as he has shoes staying on the beach. I can still hear it though. It sounds like white noise, like one of those white noise machines that I use
Right.
to sleep now, but it's actually the lapping sea. Listen to that. I couldn't be more envious of you.
You should have come. I asked you to come and said we're here with this other couple, but I asked you to come.
And you have a bottle of rosé. Wait, I was not invited.
I asked you and Beth to come.
Who's this other couple? Who's this other couple?
Jennifer asked Beth to come, and Beth said, no, they're busy. She goes, we're busy. I would talk to Beth about that. I'm not telling you how to run your house. I'm not telling you how to keep your house in order. I'm certainly not telling you how to handle your women, but I'm just saying, the offer was extended to Beth, and she said no. She said thanks, but no thanks.
I don't know about any of that. Yeah, we've got our little beach trip planned for a couple of weeks from now, but we're going to keep on spinning BTLs and monkeys. And as far as that goes, I said I wanted to share something with you. In fact, now I would like for you, the listener, to share something with your pals, with your family and beyond, like we've been talking about for the last month. Everybody who heard the JetBlue letters that David Feeney penned to JetBlue staff. It's too long a story. I'm not going to bring it back up. You can get yourself all caught up. The Cliff's Notes version of it, we've cut out all extraneous hooey and applesauce for you and just streamlined the entire JetBlue letter campaign from David Feeney to JetBlue. Suffice to say, it's very funny, and it'll be funnier if you just listen to it than me trying to give you a quick summary of it. What we've done is, and when I say we, the royal we, our pal Gary has toiled for you by cobbling together all the JetBlue letters and just the JetBlue letters in both audio and video form. Now, for you could, you the listener, a request, nay, a demand. You share it with people, both in video and in audio. And if you're listening to us right now, I think that you should soon, if you don't already, see the links to those episodes, to the JetBlue episode, the video and the audio. And like I say, send it out to your friends. We want to keep the ball rolling here. And in order to do that, we want to, build the audience a little bit more. And share
us already, for crying out. What are you ashamed of us? Share us.
Here's the carrot being dangled out in front of you, spiritually and otherwise. David Feeney has promised, and he's a man who keeps his word. He will begin new letter writing campaigns if there's proper enthusiasm shown in the form of shares and otherwise coming up here with these JetBlue letters. Is that all right? Did I say that right, Feeney?
I think that's fantastic. Gary's one cracking the whip here. Gary and Donovan, how do you do?
Hey, guys.
Hey there, Gary. Look at you two.
What's happening, man?
Both in Jacuzzi Pete t-shirts today.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
Donovan wearing the same shirt as last week. Good for you.
Yep,
hey, but tell me, how do you do? How did Damashek do?
Yeah,
it's all about getting listeners. It's all about getting down.
I thought he did great.
It's all about numbers.
Yeah, I thought.
Now you get it, Feeney. Now you get it.
Look at him run this like a business. I love it.
I thought he did great. So, yeah, this episode that you're listening to right now is going to drop late Tuesday evening, and we're going to make the JetBlue letters available on this same audio feed and on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Daves of Thunder. And that's going to be tomorrow, Wednesday, at 12 noon Pacific time. Now, because the JetBlue letters are so grand and so glorious, they went quite a distance. In fact, they cover over 1 hour. Now, we understand that for some people, you send them a YouTube video that's an hour plus, they may never even click on it because that's intimidating. That's a lot of time to commit. So we're also going to make a smaller version on YouTube. The audio is going to come out just as that 1 hour plus format. But on YouTube, we will also have a 15-minute segment that just covers, we got a little intro, and then it covers the first week of letters. So that you can send to your friends as a teaser, and then in the description of that video, there'll be a link to that longer, full version. So that's an easy way to share with somebody who may, be intimidated by that hour plus number. You can do it either way, but we encourage you, they demand, send people to youtube.com/Daves of Thunder or have them subscribe to the audio feed anywhere they get podcasts.
Now, enough business.
That was said great. Donovan, anything to add?
No, that they both said it perfectly. I couldn't put it better myself.
Is Donovan okay?
Why?
I don't know. This is getting to be. This is now,
and here's what it is, and I'm so sorry, but Damashek texted me this. Was it Sunday or was it Saturday? He texted me. Worried about Donovan. He's worried about the house. It's all about Donovan's new house that he bought.
Yeah.
I think he's underwater on it already. That's what Damashek was saying, and I think he's probably right. Is that what's going on, Donovan? Tell me.
No, everything's going great. It's just moving and having to deal with a lot of paperwork signing, all that, but we closed and
yeah, you're buying a house. That's what happens. But
yeah.
I asked Damashek's question that he asked last week. Have you made your first love in the house yet?
Not yet.
Oh my God. What's keeping him, Damashek? What's keeping him?
My concern is how has Donovan overextended himself financially a little bit, and how's he trying to make up? Has he trying to make up that gap? What have you gotten yourself into, Donovan? Speak freely here. Are you doing anything? Is everything above board? Are you running afoul of the law?
And is Donovan secretly behind us putting extra episodes out there, the JetBlue letters? He wants some skadoots. You know what I mean? He wants some spoons.
He could be he's like the opposite of 21 Jump Street, though. I think, Donovan, you could sell yourself in a court of law to just getting charged with juvenile level crimes. I think based on your stature, I think you could make a pretty compelling case to the judge and otherwise. Like, I'm an 11-year-old boy. You can't send me off to the big house.
That's totally right. If you see me clean shaven, then you should be worried. I think.
Are you taking extra gigs, Donovan? Are you taking extra gigs for
there's no gigs to go around. That's the unfortunate part. But I would love for Days of Thunder to grow. So yes, please share those YouTube videos, and it will help me afford my house.
Are you pushing schmutz or something now? What are you up to, though? That's what I'm talking about. I know that those are close cousins. The music industry and the illegal drug business are too often too closely related there. You weren't in Washington, D.C. earlier in the week, were you?
No, that wasn't.
I saw a couple speeches on my TV that gave me pause about what those people had done to themselves before they got going in front of the cameras. Anyway, enough about that. I want to ask David Feeney now because he's seaside and there's nowhere better to be. There have been a few times.
Can I tell you a better place to be?
Where's that?
Really, honestly? Tom Bergen's with you, big fan.
Isn't that nice? I was just going to say, I think we kind of went into that.
Everything you've done, I like. Everything you've put your name on over the years, I've loved. From BattleBots to Cold Pizza, anything. You name it, I love it.
You know what? Now that the love train has left the station and it's reaching full speed here, let's keep the love spreading around here. Gary.
Touchdown Einstein, Sports
David,
Geniuses.
Well, you know
Van
what?
Show.
Well, you know what? Not just Dave Damashek worked on that. Another person who's significant in the zeitgeist here in 2020, Cousin Sal. You want more listeners to Days of Thunder? Yeah. Cousin Sal and I, as you know, doing a podcast now, Extra Points. David Feeney has conflicted emotions about it at best, and Charlotte Wilder, of course, with us as well, getting great reviews.
Who's that?
Charlotte Wilder?
Who is she?
She's one of three on Extra Points, thrice weekly for your ears.
Go ahead. Wait a minute. You got yourself a Blaster Girl? You got yourself a Blaster Girl on the show?
No.
What's her nickname? What do you call it? What's her nickname? Tell me. You call her Jean Wilder? What do you call her? What's her nickname? Charlotte Ray of Light? What do you call her?
Wilder Girl?
Ugh. I don't know. I'm not worried that if that's the bullets coming out of that gun, I'm not worried. Hey,
I'm telling you something. I want to tell you something.
Please.
Now,
go back to the plug. Do the plug. Sorry.
I'm not going to do any plug here. You said you want this show. What you want, David Feeney, is for this show to be important, for it to be heard by important people, by power players.
I think it is important. I think power players do hear. I just want I want Donovan to be able to pay for his house. That's what.
Here's my point. That people of influence, whether you realize it or not, are listening. And David Feeney has raised some red flags about Extra Points and the creative well of Damashek, which I think everybody knows who's listened to me for more than 6 minutes knows that well is pretty shallow. You know, they're only like 3 to.
I wouldn't even call it a well, probably
3 or 4, a bucket. You know,
yeah, a bucket is pretty good. Large pail, I think something like that.
Something like that. Anywho, how many ideas I could possibly have, and you don't want them, Feeney, to bleed over onto the other podcasts I do. You want my creative energy focused here.
Well, I just think because the reason why, and I'm sorry to interrupt, is because you were with me first. Because I would like, you have a jerk list in you. I don't want Sal to get the jerk list. I want our audience to get the jerk list.
Well,
you have Donovan, help me out. Whatever else goes on, I want it. If Mo, I want Mo. I want
donuts. Donuts, fruit. These are my things.
I want the fruit list. Well, maybe not. He can have the fruit list, but I want the Shecky. The Sheckies can be with us. The Sheckies have to be with us.
Okay.
If I see one Shecky, and this is where we get to the sex that's in it. If I see Shecky 1, that's it. That's the end of the show. That's the end of the show.
Listen, to spread the good vibes around, I'm talking the other day on Extra Points, again, which you can find anywhere you find your favorite podcast. You can download.
Get ready, Gary.
That's great. Ready. But, Gary, do get ready, because I was made aware that we have a new listener. Take it away, Cousin Sal, on Extra Points.
I listen to Daves of Thunder. I love both Daves, by the way, Dave, the other day. And you managed to make the first 20 minutes on cremation versus burial very entertaining. That's not a knock. I liked it. It's very.
I haven't listened to that one yet. I'm gonna go listen and weigh in
Well, that's next episode. What are we gonna do? What are you guys gonna do? Which routes are you taking?
We'll talk about that. Yeah.
Look at that. See, that's good vibes.
Wait, what is that? What did I just listen to? That was Extra Point. That was the show Extra Points.
That was it. Yeah.
But you guys weren't talking about sports at all or betting at all.
What's that your worry? No one asked you to chime in with your 2 cents on the show. The point was to impress you that, look at that, Cousin Sal, maybe a bigger man than you. Look at him. Olive branch? Nay, he's using that branch as the first peg in what appears to be an attempt to build a whole bridge for Dan to go freely across, back and forth, to and fro.
I have no problem with Salvatore, as you know. I have a problem with you. I want to make sure that you can do whatever you want. However you want to rub 2 nickels together, that's fine. You have to sit your table like everybody else does. I just want to make sure, old friend, that you don't repeat bits on that show that you repeat on that. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. That's all I ask.
But I come back to you with a reminder that life itself is not a bit. And one of my tentpole beliefs in life is every once in a while, you can get into the conventional shower in your home or take a dip in the bath, but that's merely holding it over until you can take a proper bath in the Pacific Ocean. You go into the Pacific, you see, and I say it all the time, and I'll say it again to you now since it's so easy for you to do. You go in the Pacific not just to wash off the day's soils, but to wash off all of society's ills. When you go in, you frolic for as long as you need to. I say 90 minutes to 2 hours is what it takes. When you emerge, you're new, you're fresh, you're ready to go for another, I don't know how long. I don't know how much filth, spiritual and otherwise you immersed yourself in. But go and do it, David Feeney. That's how I want you to end this episode. I want you to take a bath and emerge like a brand new baby with a whole new attitude.
Coach Knight, please.
I had these, they talk in a negative way when they want to about Donald, and they talk about, he isn't presidential. I don't know what the hell that means.
All right. Some things don't change.
I absolutely will do that. I will jump in the ocean. I was in the ocean all day, and it was great. It was absolutely great. I saw a dolphin this morning. I saw a seal this morning, just going around. It was outstanding. Nice and overcast and hazy when we first get up. I got in the ocean at 7 this morning. 7 this morning, I got up and I jumped in the ocean. It was freezing. It was bracing, and it was the best. You talk about the sea being medicinal. You're absolutely right. It woke me up. I was a new man. I was hungover. I wasn't hungover after I got out of the ocean.
Did you go nude?
It was bliss.
Nude?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't go nude. No.
You didn't go because 7.
Is that your move to go nude in the ocean?
That's right. I like to do it, but I'm sorry.
When was the last time you went nude in the ocean?
I did. When I'm there, I don't fear Jaws like the lady. When the lady, that's how you do it. I don't care if there are hundreds of people around me. What I need to do is what I need to do when I'm at the sea. I take my bath and I do it. I do it just as Dave Damashek. The way God delivered me to the planet Earth is how I return myself to the sea.
Have you made love in the ocean ever? Can I ask that question? I'm asking you that point blank.
I don't believe so. And I'm trying to think of it in any body of water, any natural body of water. I'm going to say no.
You tell a story about, with all due respect to your wife, you tell a story about your first wife with the water coming out the nose. Wasn't that because it was a love made in the ocean?
No. That was because I took the aforementioned bath in the ocean and a few waves smacked me in the face. Delightful. Obviously, I'm not belly aching about that. That's part of the fun. It's timeless. It's ageless how delightful it is for those waves to get you in the punum. But some of the water went apparently into my nasal cavity. The weird thing is, like we've talked about, it hid there for hours. I went to a bar, had a couple of beers. It was a magnificent day, punctuated by what was supposed to be a vigorous. Well, I mean, it's the only way I know how to make my love is vigorously. But when I went in,
it's so crazy when you say vigorous. A vigorous session is very, very, very. It's tough to hear.
Why
I'm not
so?
even sure what that means. Vigorous.
Powerful.
What does that mean? That implies so many awful things.
Awful things.
Go ahead. Then you went to the bar. Then you came home that night. You went to dinner. Then you came home, and what happened?
Yeah, no, it's a feast for the loins. That's what it means. It's a feast for the loins. No, I assumed after I was in the more passive position, I assumed the more aggressive posture. And when I did, when I put my full weight atop my then wife, the water that had been hidden away in my nasal cavity for several hours poured out all over her bosom and her face. Ugh. She had refused earlier in the day to join me for her bath in the sea. And apparently the gods decided that I was in the right there, and they delivered said bath right atop her. Again, dressed in only what God delivered her to the planet Earth in.
And she didn't stay with you. I find that so hard to believe. I also
later that night, divorce proceedings began.
You were served the summons. I understand. Here's my question. Now, your parents are listening to this show, obviously. How does it feel to know that they're hearing these stories? And also, by the way, how's your father doing? I want to know how he's doing.
Well, I don't know
because again, this is business for you, but for me, it's family. You and I are family, and so I want to know how my other dad is doing. How's he doing?
He's doing all right at last check. He's having his struggles. What I appreciate, though, is all the BTLs and monkeys who went out of their way to drop a line to the old man because they've enjoyed him and Mo on the show. And so it was kind of people to drop a line on social media and wish him well. And I know that he appreciated it, and so did Mo Damashek, and we'll see what goes on. But
he's on the mend, right? He's on the mend, hopefully.
We'll see.
Okay, well, good for him. Tell him we're thinking of him, and hopefully he's listening to this like he listened to the show last week, right? He heard himself reading Bukowski again. How cool is that?
Well, he did, and in
fact, he's a star again.
If you don't follow me on social media, you should follow me at Damashek, if only because I tweeted out the photographs that we called for last week of me in second grade when I was forced against my will to be in a Valentine's Day photo shoot with a girl in my class. Mo Damashek promptly sent me the newspaper clip of that, and then also in fourth grade when I won the fire prevention art drawing contest for the second straight year, she sent me both of those newspaper clips, and so I shared.
Not only were those stories true, it's that, and she had them at the ready. She had those clips at the ready. Look at that. Look at Damashek.
Look at Gary.
Look at that haircut. Look at that haircut you have. That's amazing.
Gary, quickly talk about promptly threw them up there on the YouTube page again at Daves of Thunder on YouTube is how you can watch the show if you're so inclined, and worth it to see that. Yeah, that was a scarring event because
that's roughly 1957, 58 around there. Eisenhower still in the office. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But we were right on the birth of a new day because young John Kennedy was on his way. So yeah,
he was going to save the country. Then he went to Dallas.
It was an exciting time.
He took one on the cabbage.
Can I be honest with you though? I barely even remember his presidency at this point. But that was so long ago for me.
Who's that with you right there?
That's a girl in third grade.
That's not a teacher. That's not a teacher.
No, that's a third grade child that you're looking at.
Oh, I gotta glare here. I can't see. I thought it was a teacher. Oh my goodness.
Jody Z. Jody Z is her name. That's all the info I have on her. But she really does have a very hip and now kind of haircut. She does kind of look like a 32-year-old woman.
She looks like she looks like she's your teacher. I swear to God.
She was the other back-to-back winner in the fire prevention art contest. She won 2 times 2. But yeah, that's.
And you hated her?
She was my arch rival. I respect.
She hated you.
It was a grudging respect. It was sort of like Peyton and Brady, what they eventually came around to have for each other.
Did you have a lot of friends growing up? Be honest.
Yeah, sure I did. Yeah, I had a lot of friends. Yeah,
you did.
In high school,
I
didn't have any girlfriends, so I didn't get invited into any of the cool parties until late in my high school run. But yeah, I had a lot of good friends. Sure. How about you?
I had really like 2 or 3 friends in high school. No girls, of course. I went to an all-boys school. The last party I was invited to before college, of course, I didn't go to any college parties either, was an 8th grade party celebrating the movie Footloose. What happened was it was a dance party. Did I tell you this story? It was a dance party.
No, never heard
it. This girl who had this party, she's like, "Oh, it's going to be dancing. It's going to be a boy-girl party. What do you think? Can you come?" I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to come to this boy-girl party. How great is this going to be?" And so I was so nervous about the boy-girl part. I was so nervous about the dancing part. So my mother, being just the loveliest woman, aside from my own wife, my love, my lady. She's everything to me. Anyway,
you see that outpouring? How that makes me look? It's beautiful. You may as well just make out with her at a table for 4 at a fancy restaurant. It makes me look.
I may end the night. I may end the show me kissing my wife. How about that?
Take her into the sea with you, both of you, without a stitch of clothing on you.
That would not go over well anyway. So my mother's like, so I'm nervous to my mother. I said, "This is gonna be boy girl. It's gonna be dancing. I don't know what to do." My mother's like, "You know what? This movie called Footloose just came out. Let's go see Footloose." No, this is 6th grade. I'm sorry. This is 5th grade. Let's go see Footloose. So we went to go see Footloose, and there's all these things, and it's blah, 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 and it's got drugs, and it's got sex, there's an attempted rape, there's men beating up women. It's just awful, but it's a great movie. But it's a stark kind of view of high school life. I was scarred forever. And then, but you know what? There was a lot of dancing. I learned, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I learned something. Maybe I can go to this party and not be so completely intimidated by dancing with girls. And so then the day before the party, her name was Julie Rosenthal. Julie Rosenthal. Hello, darling. Hold on one second. Julie Rosenthal called me and said, "Just so you know, the other 4 boys coming to this party are not going to come. And so it probably is not good if you don't come either." And so I didn't go to the party. And then I found out that Monday that the boys did go to the party.
Oh my God!
It was my way to not be invited to the party, which was humiliating.
God. How did you ever even reach manhood?
Which was humiliating. But you want to know how a comedy writer was born? That's how a comedy writer.
That's exactly right. That's exactly. I mean, so true, and it's why
you find out that no, Paul was there. Oh, Aaron was there as well. So was Brian. So was.
No
DJ.
wonder you devoted the first decade and a half of your time in Los Angeles to running through half of Hollywood. That was your vengeance.
And that anybody wants to know, that's exactly Damashek's line in my toast. My toast at my wedding.
That's the Chicago way. Hey,
except he did it as Connery. That's exactly right. He did it as Sean Connery.
You know, at the time of this recording, it is Sean Connery's 90th birthday.
I had no idea that Sean Connery was going to be at my wedding, but then yet he was. He was there to say that horrible, to say those awful things about me.
Did you know Connery? I became aware of this today. I don't know if it's interesting to anybody but me, but did you know that Connery hasn't made a picture since League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? I guess he's a very old man now, but.
Well, he's 90. Let's see, retire at 65. That's what, 25 years ago?
Oh, it's not
25 years ago. It was 95. Yeah. I mean, remember he did the movie where he was the dragon's voice with your Dennis Quaid? He like that. That's the last thing I remember him in.
Yeah. And then he was also, it was weird when he appeared. I knew who he was enough to know that he was a screen legend with James Bond and Man Who Would Be King and whatever. That it was weird when he showed up in Highlander. Well, greetings, Highlander.
But he's great in Highlander. And, and Untouchables was down the other day, so of course I had to watch. He's great in Untouchables.
Yeah, right.
He's really, really good.
What are you willing to do?
Yeah. What does he say? Yeah, they bring a knife, you bring a gun. It's the Chicago way. Someone at the lesson. It's just great. What have you been watching lately on the wheel? I'm dying to find out.
Who would say that? Who is not?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that's still on the wheel? Let me know.
I've been watching. Yeah, I've been. In fact, I think
Boogie Nights. Let me guess. Boogie Nights is on there.
Correct. I mean, what the hell? You got a train running through?
We're right by the train station.
That is a good pro tip for anybody paying a visit to Southern California. Get yourself, what's it called? The surf liner, I think is what it's called. Get on that. You can ride the surf liner, I think, at least down to San Diego. San Diego all the way up, if I'm not mistaken, to San Francisco, I think is how far.
To Oakland, not to San Francisco, but
to Oakland.
Yeah.
I mean, every town distinct from the next. It's a wonderful way to travel. Not as exciting.
It's amazing. Go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
It's like the Sex and the City girls, though, when they got on the train to go cross country. If you're expecting it to be like Roy Hobbs and the Knights when they travel around in a suit and tie and in a dining cart with white tablecloths and all that, don't get your hopes that high. It ain't that good, but still, it
is great though. You have a few beers is even better. The most I've done, I went from a buddy's wedding. The longest train ride I've taken was a buddy's wedding in Santa Barbara. I took it all the way down to San Diego to watch the Chargers play the Patriots in 2002. They had just won the World Championship. They had just won the Lombardi. They went there, and that was their first loss of the year for the Chargers. And that was like a 3-hour train ride or whatever it was. That's the longest train ride. Going cross country, that'd be crazy. You never did that, did you?
Every time it's sort of like a throwaway thing, but I cannot hear about Babe Ruth era stuff or DiMaggio era stuff without thinking about what a pain in the ass that had to be a ball player. Until planes were the norm, until commercial flights and such were the norm. Can you imagine? And it's not like they were millionaires for doing it. Just how much of their lives were devoted to train rides? It's not a small matter to go from Brooklyn to St. Louis, for instance.
Right. And people talk about that. They're like, oh, these athletes who have to go they play a night game in Boston. They have to go all the way to Chicago the next day. No, on these planes, it's really easy. On these planes, it's great. It's not the days of Louis Vuitton.
I will say the movies I've seen the most. I'm trying to think what's hard to believe is, who are you talking to over there?
I'm talking to Mrs. Feeney. Mrs. Feeney's give me the finger.
Who's there? I want to know who else is there.
Can I say something right now? This is no secret. She don't like you.
I know. It hurts my feelings.
She don't like your way, the way you insulted her father. You insulted her stepmother. You insulted her friends. You stole from her other friend at my wedding. You made a hazard, and that was we were talking about that this morning because we were on the ocean. It was great, reminding of the first time we were on the ocean as a couple, as a married couple. It was in Hawaii, and just recounting all the ways that you betrayed us that week. and on my dime. And by the way, on my dime, trays of brownies going away, and also her friend Eleanor, by the way, still can't find her rings. I'm not saying that's you. I'm not saying that's you, and I've defended you, but it's a little suspicious.
Please send her my best, just the same.
I will. Tell me the movie. Tell me the movies real quick, then I'm going to get to the emails.
Okay. I was thinking about it. By the way, it really is grim stuff. Not to be a bummer. I guess people already acknowledge this. But it registered to me. I had heard that we had hit the 6-month mark of the shutdown and all that kind of stuff. But half a year of our lives, talk about riding around on trains and all that jive for the ball players. At least they got to get somewhere and get out and play in a ballpark 3 times before they had to get back on the train. They got to trip the light fantastic in great American cities of Chicago and Detroit and so on, Boston and otherwise, Pittsburgh, PA, of course. But we've been shut in, and where it really hit home for me is the arc in the pay cable movie channels that they've come back around to the movies that we're showing when we first went into shutdown.
I love this.
Well, Match Point is the movie that I was like, what? Really?
You are amazing.
We're back to Match Point?
That is the perfect example. That is amazing of you to say that. Yeah, that's right. That really annoyed me. I saw that last week. That really annoyed me.
I don't know why. That's one of those movies. It's a Woody Allen picture, if you aren't aware. It's disgraceful how exactly alike it is to Crimes and Misdemeanors, which is the superior picture. And yet I still will watch that movie all the way.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's Crimes and Misdemeanors is probably his masterpiece, right? I mean, even though we love Annie Hall, we love Hannah Sisters, we love Manhattan, we love so many of his movies. I mean, the man hit so many home runs, not unlike yourself. But he, but Match Point, but Crimes and Misdemeanors is probably his most. Is the most special one. But yeah, when he did this movie, it's other than what he did was he just made Martin Landau do the murder. Really, that's really the only difference.
Yeah, basically,
he made Martin Landau do the murder
and gave everybody an English accent. Right, basically,
right, and also made the mistress a more kind of seductive, and they tell that love story a little bit better instead of in flashback. That was the great thing about Crimes and Misdemeanors, is that everything bad has already kind of happened. Like he wants to get out of the relationship, and now she's holding him ransom. It's really, really spectacular.
Yeah, it is great. Boogie Nights. I'll tell you, it really is a murderer's row of pictures, though. Pun intended, since we were just talking about Martin Landau and the late great Jerry Orbach.
Laugh, Donovan.
Orbach is the
paid,
one.
Do you?
Orbach pulls the trigger. In fact, in Crimes and Misdemeanors.
Well,
but anyhow,
he has that guy from New Orleans.
Here's the other guy, Do It.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But how great! I mean, that casting of Jerry Orbach, they look exactly alike. I mean, of course they could be brothers. I mean, it's really phenomenal. And how do you set out to do? I'm sorry to go down this hole. How amazing is it to do at the same time a very dark drama, which is about murder, and that the guy gets away with it, not to ruin the movie, and realizes that God is a lie. That's what he basically realizes at the end of the movie, that God is a lie, that he'll get by and he'll be fine. And the other half of that movie is this ridiculous, lighthearted, silly comedy about him. He has a crush on Mia Farrow, and he wants to get with her, but he can't because he's in this horrible relationship with Juliana Gleason. And it's silly, and his heart is broken at the end, and the two of those guys get together. It's just great to me that you can do kind of a lighthearted kind of will they won't they, at the same time you can do very, very dark murders. It's
funny because when people say who don't know you and they say, what is, just like, as much as you give me some short, what's David Feeney like? I'm like, watch Crimes and Misdemeanors, watch Alan Alda's character. That's David Feeney, day after day, pretty much.
What are you talking about? He's horrible.
That's
that movie.
Oh, well, I didn't mean it that way. But I mean, like, yeah, that's like your thing. You're like, if it bends, it's funny.
If it breaks, it's not funny.
It's not, like, you're big on that kind of stuff, you know?
I am kind of, but people ask me if you had to compare Damashek, your friend, to a movie character, not to bring it back to where we started, I would say Superman.
After he lost his powers.
No. After he got him back.
Oh, thank you.
You're the son of Jor-El to me, which makes, I guess, makes Lee Jor-El. And you know what, Lee, if you're listening, you're Jor-El, baby. You're Jor-El.
He's Brando. That's right.
What about my Footloose story? Isn't that terrible?
That is some story, and I can't believe I've never heard it, but it definitely informed the rest of your life. And so that's the good news. See,
I have the story, and I don't know if I've ever told it on this, but that girl, Julie Rosenthal, who threw that party, I met her 30 years later in San Francisco.
Oh.
Did I tell you this story?
I remember when you were going to do that.
It was a thing, and I'll tell you that story next week, but it was a gas. But speaking of like 6 months ago, as far as Match Point, I had to unfortunately clean out my offices at 20th this week, 20th Century. Finally, it's like after 6 months now, it's safe because my show was canceled. I had to clean out the offices, and it was exactly what you're saying. It was a time capsule. I went there, and there's an LA Times on my desk talking about like 5 dead from the pandemic, that kind of thing. And also, it's like where I was March 4th is where this office stayed. So there's like the dirty plate that I had that afternoon for lunch, that was still there. Everything was the same. I left a pair of shoes there. I had plants in that office. Those were all dead. It was really, really sad. It was really pathetic.
Evans, you're out. That's really like when Robert Evans had to clear out his little corner. Where was that?
Right.
Paramount? I forget where that was.
That was Paramount. So then, unfortunately, I had to clean up the office, and the first thing I took up the last thing I took off the wall before I left was the picture of you and I, which I always have on the wall right next to the door.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Remember we took that picture. Where was that picture? Do you remember when we took that picture?
I think it was at that pool party. You were able to remove the two women from either arm where the night we met.
That's right.
I asked my guy because back then they didn't have any cell phone pictures weren't a thing.
No. That's right.
But fortunately, they had somebody there making pictures with a Polaroid, and they snapped one. Choo-choo. And I remember debating with you, why do you get to keep it? And you're like,
that's right.
This is going to be with me everywhere I go from now on.
That's right. And you were still smoking then. Remember, you had because Damashek has what was the brand you smoked?
I don't know. I just loved putting. I wasn't picky about that. I just loved putting him into the cigarette holder. You know,
it was great. It is dapper, and unfortunately, at that time, not to tell tales, so you were still wearing the cape out in public. You still had the cape.
I don't mind you telling anybody that.
It was a weird thing to do, but hey, why not? You go to a party with two women, big deal.
I thought that was what it was about. So that's why they call it Holly Weird. You know, I was just trying to fit in.
Gary and Donovan, have you ever seen that picture?
I've never seen it.
I don't think I have either.
Boy, that was just that was a B12 shot into this conversation.
I can't help. I'm so heartbroken over that Footloose story. That one. I don't know.
That was pretty bad, right?
That was really rough.
I know that we're just in, a lot of people are listening to us, but that's the beauty of video is you could show us what Mama Feeney taught you that day or what Kevin Bacon and Mama Feeney combined to teach you, what moves you have. Everybody,
whatever Chris Penn does in that movie is what I was like. I was like, I really, this is awful. I remember watching that and it wasn't on tape then. It was just I saw it in the theater, so it was me like practicing in the mirror at his moves, like going back and forth. It was really, and I was like, I don't know what I had in my head that was going to happen. I was going to either dance, learn rhythm and dance, quietly with somebody, or everyone was going to gather around me while I did some sort of show. And then if I did that, all the girls would have been powerless. They would have come over, they would have hugged me, they would have kissed me. Terry Hodnett, you name them.
Yeah, see, it's that they did that to you is so cruel and unusual. It's not like
she did it. She just did. They invited me, but then they invited me. Then they not invited me. I wasn't courting my prom date on any level, except that I just wanted to go to the prom and I knew her and everything. But it was just over and above that she made out with somebody at the prom on my dime, essentially. Terrible.
She at minimum she could have just stayed close to my arm throughout the night, right? Not that she had to, give me first or shame the devil second base or anything like that, but to run off and play a different ball game altogether, inappropriate.
Yeah, especially that night. Go play tomorrow. It's not that night. That's exactly. I couldn't agree with you more. I think that story is also very painful. I just think that the fact that it was like, she invited me, and I remember being so happy that I was going to go to this party. And then when she said, just no guys are going to come, is that okay? I was like, what? This is some amazing person who's so worried about my feelings that she's like, you're going to be the only boy there, and I don't want you to be the only boy there because I care about you. I was on cloud nine. I was quote Michael Caine and Hannah. I was walking on air, and then to find out on Monday that all the other boys still went. Ugh.
What a master criminal she is too. As long as you don't go to school the following Monday, her story will forever check out. I mean, what?
That's right. It was.
Apparently, she didn't even give a good goddamn enough to care about your feelings.
I doubt anything like that ever happened to Donovan, right, buddy?
Stuff like that's happened to me. Sure.
Give me one story. It better be good.
All right. I was approached by a couple of girls about a girl named Alicia, who is a grade above me. I thought she was very pretty, and they said that she was into me, and I should go say.
This is high school. This is high school. What is it?
It's elementary school.
Elementary school,
like fifth grade. And I thought, okay, well, I better go say something to her. So I walked up there and I went, Alicia, I hear you like me. I don't know. I was very forward with it, and I look over, and all the girls are snickering in the corner as I'm talking to her, and she has no idea what's going on. And it was pretty brutal.
What grade was this again?
Fifth
grade. I guarantee you that the story, if he kept telling the rest of it, winds up with him in her pants. Donovan doesn't know from what it's like to put down and put through the emotional ringer. You never spent day one in that.
Yeah,
I think Damashek's being crass, but I think he's probably right. Is that at the end of the day, you could just pick up a guitar, you could pick up a 6-string, and then just go to town, right?
Well, that was a big part of why I picked up the guitar. I needed something. I wasn't funny like Feeney or Shaq, so I didn't
or
have
Shaq.
personality.
I don't need to be wedged in like that. I think I deserve a little bit better.
By the way, I saw.
It looked like you were searching for other names, like funny people, like David Feeney.
He said the word Feeney, and then immediately it was like he knew that you were going to come at him. So he had
I know other
or Shaq.
Feeney. Who else do I know that's
Not at all.
Adam Carolla. Yeah, Carolla. Oh, you know who else is funny? Thank goodness I remembered this just in time. Bald Brian. He's also funny.
He's very funny too. Yeah, but no.
Who else is there that I could mention here? Another example of a funny person?
No,
You're a son of a bitch.
Damashek just went through his Footloose story. Just now, with Donovan screwing him over. Gary, that never happened to you, did it, buddy?
I know I had some rough ones, but I've suppressed them. I'm trying to come up with the specifics. There were a few where I think, similar to Donovan, I was intentionally misled. But the one that comes to mind was a couple of girls misled me into thinking that a girl I liked was interested in me. And when I went towards that girl to sort of see if this was in fact true, the girl in question was in on it, and all three of them were laughing as I approached her.
Oh.
It's just,
See, at least you had enough self-esteem that they could get you in just a whisker of trouble there because, a girl, she's into you. You had enough esteem to think like that's possible. That if any girl was like, hey, so-and-so is into you over there, I'd be like, no, she's not. There's no chance that that's true. And I would have rejected it out of hand. Now, David Feeney, I'm curious about this. Woody Allen.
Get into it.
I want to do Win Play Show.
Do you have oh my God, Gary,
we're
crack
gonna
the knuckles. Do you have a light on you? Do you have a light on you right now?
I do, yeah.
You have lighting?
That's right. Well, I have to have a light on, don't I? I have lights in my home? Yes, I do.
I see this. But I see the circle under Terry Garr. I see the reflection. You have a professional light on you.
It's the old ladies. This is where she does all her Zooming all day. She said, you need to use the Zoom. She said, you need to use her new Zoom, whatever.
To be that rich. Good for you.
Look at us living high off the hog.
Let's do Win Play Show. But have you ever done Win Play Show on Extra Points?
I have not. Maybe I have, but those are sports based. Win Play Show.
Okay. That's how you save it. Baby.
Win Play Show. The best directors of our lifetime: Woody Allen.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese. And I'll allow you to choose who you want in the fourth position there, because that's what matters more.
What's the fourth position? Win Play Show. What's the fourth position?
Well, it could nothing out of the.
Oh, this is a lazy game. This is so lazy.
Kubrick, or Tarantino. I think they both probably don't. Neither has the body of work of the three guys that I just named for you. So I think we can rule any of them out, though.
So how do you start? You start with the person who has the most of your favorite.
You can only watch. You can watch whoever gets the win here. Yeah. Whoever you give the win to, you can watch this director's movies anytime you want for the rest of your life. Whoever you put in the place position, you can watch this guy's movies once every 10 years within a month-long window. Mm-hmm. Whoever you put in the third position, you never watch his movies again.
All right, then I would probably go.
I think this is an I really think we can take action on this. I do, but I want to see.
This is such a crazy. This is worse than Kiss or Pizza.
Gary, before you answer, Gary and Donovan, what do you predict he's going to say? This is a tough one. I can't figure out what he's going to say here. Boy, that's really rough. You can't see. Go ahead. Dave.
For some reason, I have him putting Spielberg in the show.
Mm-hmm. Then in place, Gary, who?
In place, I think Kubrick.
Interesting.
I think you're going to go Allen for win.
Okay, Donovan, what do you think?
I don't know why.
I think Tarantino's number one.
Okay.
What's that, Bubby? Say it again.
I think Tarantino's going to be number one.
In the win? Okay.
In win.
Okay.
I think Scorsese number 2, and Spielberg.
Hi, pretty girl. How are you? Are you having a fun time at the beach?
You having a fun time at the beach? She wants to know. Say it again, buddy.
How are you doing? You having a good time at the beach? I see you got your nails done for the occasion. They look great.
Yeah.
Are you going to cook up some fish with your dad in a little bit?
Some salmon?
Yeah.
Cool.
What's your favorite movie?
You're welcome. You're welcome.
What movie do you love watching right now?
No, I want to say what's my favorite movie.
What's your favorite movie? Go ahead.
Croods.
Croods is your favorite movie?
That's a great movie. I love that.
Not Hot Pursuit. You don't even know that movie? What about Singing in the Rain? You like Singing in the Rain?
Yeah, I don't like Croods.
What about Kramer versus Kramer? We've been watching that lately. Give me a kiss.
The only thing we've been watching lately is Three Stooges.
We have
What?
the mic.
Three Stooges, and she literally dropped the mic on her way out the door. I loved it.
I'm gonna this ridiculous game aside.
Beautiful girl. I'm going to tell you this.
Can we get some emails real quick? So the show in that.
No. I'm going to tell you what it is.
Please.
You guys misread David Feeney. Yes, he's a pretentious ass, but he also he grew up on the guy. What's going to be in the number one spot? He'll set aside his Hollywood bona fides, and he's going to go with the director who raised him. That's Steven Spielberg is his win. The Place, there's no way, with all the love he may have of Woody Allen pictures, there's no way he can say goodbye to Scorsese forever. Ergo, he is in The Place. He'll revisit Goodfellas and otherwise once a decade. And I'm sorry, Woody Allen, your movies are wonderful, but you'll never, David Feeney's eyes will never see them again. Thus, I prove that I know David Feeney best. Correct?
Show is easily Spielberg. Place is Woody Allen, and win is Martin Scorsese. End of report.
Holy hell! Holy hell! Really?
Hey, so we have some emails or something or not? Because Damage Tech's boring me.
Yeah, we have a couple here.
Look at Gary. Look at Gary wearing my shirt. Look at Gary. Look at this. This poor man. This poor angel.
I'm wearing the retail version. You've got a custom white one I've never even seen before. That thing's glorious.
It was made special for Daddy. It was made special for Daddy.
Yeah, that's
Damage and I both got these.
It's glorious. I'm
But have you ever noticed that Damage refuses to wear JP shirts?
I did notice that.
I have noticed.
Donovan noticed it. It's always the flannel. It's always that ridiculous flannel.
He's 6 feet under that guy. Leave him alone already. That's enough. You know, 6 feet under per his prescription. I want to be the exact distance, the exact length of a Subway 6 foot sub under the earth. That's what he wanted to be. And so now that's where he is for the rest of the time.
Well, hey, speaking of JP, and before we get to the emails, Gary, did you find the Blaster Girl Mysteries again or no? Did you find that chapter? Chapter 3?
I was digging through that thumb drive, and there's different folders for a bunch of chapters, 3 and beyond, but they're encrypted, and it's asking me for a password that I can't figure out.
What do you mean it's encrypted? You can't get into it?
Like you click on it, and it requires a password to enter the folder, which presumably is where the chapters are.
What's the password?
I don't know. I've been trying stuff, but I haven't had any luck.
We can't get at that. We can't get at that chapter 3.
Not so far.
Well, come on, man. Really? Hold on. So there's a password?
Yeah.
What do you think the password is, Damage?
Chocolate pudding.
So mean.
Do you have any guesses?
Have you tried chocolate pudding?
I haven't. I'll jot these down and I'll try them.
Donovan, pitch some passwords, sir. Pizza. Try pizza.
Pizza. I mean, just food. What was that saying he liked that he was getting into?
Chocolate mousse.
Chocolate mousse. Let him have it, big boy.
Yeah, let him have it, big boy. He could have just been writing down his password.
Waka Waka.
Donovan's right. What if that was his password? It's not a saying. It's his password. A Waka Waka, but that's Fozzie Bears. What about Nancy? Nancy could be one, right?
Nah.
Cindy.
More likely, yeah. More likely Cindy.
He was obsessed. He was obsessed with Cindy, as we all were. Everybody except David, apparently.
Oh,
that was an amazing. That would be a great guess. How did he make his money? Where did he work?
I don't know.
How'd you meet him, Damn Straight? The Kimmel Show or Man Show?
Right. His wife worked at, I think still works at the Kimmel Show. All these
Kimmel,
years.
so try Kimmel.
Right, that's where that's where the whole show started, if you'll recall. He, like Jacuzzi Pete, would listen to my sports podcasts in his jacuzzi after the kids went to bed with a drink in his hand.
And he said, if only he could be teamed up with someone better.
Right. And he got his wish.
He got his wish.
I can't believe you shelved Spielberg. But now that
Jacuzzi, let's do this password bit for 2 more minutes. Jacuzzi, bubbles, that's something. What would he drink in the jacuzzi?
Chocolate shake.
Chocolate shake. That got Donovan. Of all of them, that got Donovan.
You don't have to try to make amends for what happened earlier in the show.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
The length of that ellipses
funny.
Mine and your name is insane.
One time Dana Gould came on Carolla's podcast. He was funny.
He's very funny. Yes.
Yeah, he's funny.
Jimmy Woods is hysterical. As I've told you, went to school with my mom.
Amazing.
High school, she remembers him. I would say one more. Gary, I would try jacuzzi as a password.
Yep, got it.
I would try.
French fries.
French fries. Just French fries.
Loves his French fries.
Gravy fries.
Yeah, all different kinds.
Cheese fries.
Maybe soup.
What was the name of the guy in the Elastigirl Mysteries from the first chapter? The guy she makes love on. Stu. Try Stu. Try. Was it Knock Knock Stu's there? And what was the Gary? What was the second chapter called?
Let me see here.
Now that I look at it, you're really only losing Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T. You're not going to watch Close Encounters. I could do without Saving Private Ryan.
I'm losing The Terminal. Oh my, I'm losing Always.
Jurassic
Park.
Park.
I'm losing Crystal Skull. Oh my God.
What will
I do?
You know what's an outrageously bad picture is War of the Worlds. The first the first half of it is really great, but when they get to Tim Robbins in the cellar, from that point on, it is such garbage. From that point forward,
that's right.
But that's half the picture. It's dreck. What did he just? He just straight up like, enough's enough. Let's go home. Let's just mail the rest of this picture in.
Chapter 2 is called.
Looking at the chapter. Just tell me Spielberg's best picture, real quick.
I got it when you're ready.
It's Raiders of the Lost Ark, I guess.
That's
right?
That's his best movie, you think? Not Schindler's?
Or Schindler's List, I guess. Jaws for the time it was made. E.T. is nice. Yeah, boy, that really isn't as punishing a loss as I would have thought.
I would really look at Jaws again. Jaws
as his best picture. Oh, if you consider when it comes out, yeah,
it's wildly well directed. It's so well directed. I mean, and Raiders is also. I mean, talk about somebody at the height of their game. Raiders is so terrifically directed, and it's a great script. And Harrison Ford is whatever. It's amazing, but it's a great
Scorsese, you lose. The Departed, no big loss there. I think that movie's overrated. Goodfellas is the biggest loss, of course. That's his number one. King of Comedy is a gem.
No. You lose King Comedy. You lose Taxi Driver.
Raging Bull.
You lose Raging Bull. You lose. I think The Departed is even though it won Best Picture, it's underrated. I think. I think you're losing.
Underrated. He's a criminal mastermind. He can't figure out that the ex-cop is the mole.
I know your take on this, and I've heard it on other shows. Okay. I like Bringing Out the Dead is not the greatest, but I love Gangs of New York. I still like very much. I think he's made Age of Innocence is great. He's made a slew.
Eye-opening. Let me just to round it out. Annie Hall, Manhattan, Hannah and Her Sisters, Crimes and Misdemeanors, Blue Jasmine, Midnight in Paris.
No.
What? No. What? Midnight in Paris.
No.
I like
Paris. No. You don't like movies? Those movies are fine.
I love Midnight in Paris.
It's not Stardust Memories. It's not Zelig.
I'm just reading it chronologically.
It's not Broadway Danny Rose. It's not even. I would say it's not. I mean, Rated Ace is fine.
Love and Death is great. Sleeper is great.
Love and Death is, but Sleepers is wonderful.
I'm talking about just straight funny. I think Love and Death is really one of the funnier ones, as is Sleeper. Vicky Cristina Barcelona is a good one too.
Great.
All right, you know what? You've won me over.
But you're forgetting the movie that if I were to write one of his movies, what would it be? It would be Bullets Over Broadway. If that was a movie that oh my God, I wish I could have written that movie. Bullets Over Broadway would be it. That movie was, without a doubt, it was so amazingly well done. Really, really, really well done. Let's get to some emails.
All right, go ahead.
I'm almost done with you.
Just
fine. I want to get you back to the beach, ASA and P. Let's go here.
Gary, please.
Just to button it up, Chapter 2 was called Cash and Carry. Yeah.
I love the Blaster
how great was
Mysteries. The last 2 episodes, you got to go back and listen to those as well. There's the train.
How great was that? The fact that I think you said this last week. The same man, the same brain, may he rest in peace, who brought us Kiss or Pizza,
right,
or brought us Tough Questions with Jacuzzi Pete, brought us this dense noir novel.
It's wonderful and really is to be experienced. Again, I'll tweet it out too, but yeah, listen to it, watch it, all that stuff. It's really great stuff from the late great, apparently, Jacuzzi Pete. Who knew he even had a body of work like that on it, in him? But anyway.
So Gary, try out those passwords, and this is on you, sir. This is on you.
I will. One way or another. I'll get into it. You guys want to do some emails?
Yes, please, some emails.
All right, we got just a couple here, and we got one voicemail. We'll start with an email from Dan from Ohio, who's been emailing us about trying to become the show snitch. He says, "Hey, fellas, sincere thanks for playing my dumb message on the show. You know why? Big fan. But seriously, it's been a hectic and stressful time for me, and the Daves are always a bright spot in my week. It was probably an offhanded remark, but if you were actually considering a live call-in battle for the show snitch position like you did with the interns way back when, I would be completely game. Forever yours, Dan from Ohio."
All right. That's it. Did we hear then from his challenger a week ago?
You did. DeWitt Ortega says, "Hey, Gary, you handsome beast. Thanks for all you do."
He actually did respond. Good. All right.
"I've heard Dan from Ohio's message. So cute. It makes sense that the little guy would want to tear down my bona fides. He's 25. He barely remembers the day JP's pal Otta took the towers. He'll make a fine intern. He'll have to knock it off with the lip if he wants to keep the gig. Attached to the reports I compiled at the first week's Monitored. Gary alluded to these on episode 132, but they never made the air. I feel the below will more than demonstrate what I can bring to the table. The detailed reports that I provide are something Dan cannot with his Jim Rome rants on the voicemail machine. Scramble 2, DeWitt Ortega, President, Feedsters Union, Local 451, Bits, Balls, Bukowski."
Huh.
And then below there are, in fact, some detailed accounts of things that have probably skirted the line in extra points, but I don't think we necessarily need to go over those here.
I don't like it. I feel like I'm being victimized by voyeurs around the society. But all right.
But this is great. So this is amazing. So we have the show snitch. Mm-hmm. You want to be that guy. And Damashek, do you want to at all come forward with any bits you've prepared or you repeated on this show that you did on the other shows, or no?
I have nothing to share here. My conscience and my record are both clear.
Fall on your sword right now, sir.
All right, why? What did I do? Did I
don't
do
know.
something?
I don't listen.
You got your army. You got your army out there scouring my various podcasts. So I'm
and the
sure
show
they'll
intern,
report
this
back.
is a thing too. The show intern, this is also a thing, correct?
Yeah, we've gotten a ton of submissions. Unfortunately,
how many do we get?
Oh, I mean, there's got to be 60 or 70. I'm honestly, I don't have time to sift through them all. But we did have one.
That's all? Oh, the two of you can't sift through 60 emails? Donovan, what do you do for this show during the week?
I don't really know. Just
I would have to.
That's it.
I would have to see what the teams are, sweetheart. Tell me the letters of the teams, then I'll tell you. Okay.
But since we're running a little short on time here, and we want to get David Feeney back to the ocean and back to making dinner for his lovely family there, I just picked out one that came through via voicemail. I've flapped my gums enough on this episode, so we'll let this gentleman speak for himself.
Dear Dave, my name is Marco. I should be your intern. I'm a lawyer. I'm hilarious. I went to high school in Rhode Island. And about 1 year ago, I learned...
I'll pause it for you there, David Feeney.
What's team, buddy? So it's Dallas, or who's Dallas playing?
The Clippers.
We want we want the Clippers to win. Okay, go ahead. He said he went to high school in Rhode Island?
Yes.
Go ahead. This is some scene.
My
It's
name
really
is Marco.
wild.
I should be your intern. I'm a lawyer. I'm hilarious. I went to high school in Rhode Island. And about 1 year ago, I learned how to wax seal a letter so that Damashek could cross receiving a wax sealed letter off of his bucket list. End transmission.
He did. I do still have that. That's the greatest. That's a great gift. I have yet to employ it though. No jive. I haven't used the wax sealer to send a letter yet. I need to do that. So, but okay. So there's a new one.
We want LAC to win. We want LAC. There's two things that I've always wanted. I've always wanted a seal to seal envelopes. David Schick and I park our cars in that same garage. I also want, like as Bukowski did, and various famous people, a little doodle to sign letters with. Right? You know how there's always a doodle of your name, whether it's a little guy, like Bukowski had the guy, like that kind of thing. Like I want a little doodle.
Yeah. I like
Donovan. Get on it. Get on it, man.
I know. You gotta get. I have something signed by Ben Folds where he had a piano that he drew.
Yeah. And
every time he signs an autograph, he draws a piano. That seems too much.
I think that's spectacular. I have a Bukowski autograph that Damashek did not buy for me, and it was a friend did. And Bukowski, it was like, blah 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 blah, and Bukowski he used to draw a little guy and sign his name afterward. That's what I really like to do. I need, if you want, if the intern, if you want to separate yourself, the wheat from the chaff, then I would say please come up with a Feeney doodle.
That's better than the Dan Penny fingerprint, right?
That's right. Look at Donovan try to get one in.
There you go.
Look at him try to contribute.
There you go, little fella. You got one in there.
Thanks, guys.
My friend.
All right, so I think now that we've taken, are we closing the polls now? All the submissions, and next week we'll announce the new show.
No. I want to hear some more. More. I don't hear any women. I don't hear no chicks. I want to hear some more people.
Okay,
some more submissions. Right now, I'm going to the ocean. Yeah, I'm going in nude.
Oh, do it, Donovan. Sing him off. Sing him a nice song about I want to soak up the sun. Do a nice sea song for him.
That's what I get from Donovan.
Well, there's a sea song.
Never mind.
Yeah,
Never mind.
They put him on the.
When I sing a Beach Boys song,
you put him on the spot. What happened?
You're a SoCal kid. Sing something by the Beach Boys. That's all they sing about.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
No, I'm sorry.
For Christ's sakes, the 90 minutes you got to be on camera. No. Save that for drink water, please. Save your APA for drink water.
I will.
Let's go surfing now.
Everybody's learning
how. Right?
Yeah.
All right. I say, you play the song. Get me out of here.
Feeney doesn't need to hear the Ewok sing because he's already all right. He's got his feet in the Pacific. He's at the edge of the continent. Look over your shoulder there.
Eat your heart out, Julie Rosenthal.
Next stop, Hawaii.
Your life. By the way, so next week I'll tell that story, Damashek, about me looking up Julie Rosenthal.
Look who's the big winner.
30 years after that happened.
Look at the big winner. You and your mother who taught you how to dance. And you haven't needed until this moment. Dance in the shoreline for us. Dance us off.
Can I say best wishes to your father?
You can say that, and it will be heard.
And best wishes to Mo.
Best wishes to Mo as well. Best wishes to
you. Best wishes to, even though she's not in your life anymore. Best wishes to Cindy for having to suffer you spewing ocean water out of your nose on top of her. And I'm going to say best wishes to you, Dave Damashek. I wish you were here. You're one of the great loves of my life.
Well, send my best to the wonderful Jennifer, even if she doesn't care for me, and to the little girlie. I hope you have a wonderful time up there, up at the sea. Perhaps we'll just make an impromptu visit. You don't know. Is that cool if I bring all 4 kids and both wives and everything?
Plenty of room. Plenty of room.
Good. All right.
Not both wives. No, that's probably not a good idea.
Be on the lookout for some assemblage of Damashek plus his spawn arriving at your doorstep. All right.
Who's this guy?
Uh-oh. Look at this. All of a sudden now, so exclusive, like you're giving him the stink eye. Are you sure you're allowed here, sir? You have any ID? Playing cop on the beach. Beach cop. All right. There he goes. David Feeney. Next stop, the bottom of the Pacific, only for a moment to rise up, born anew. From his bath there. We'll talk to you next week. Have a good time out there while you're up there, David Feeney.
There's dog on the beach. Okay.
Good stuff, Donovan. Good stuff, Gary. Thanks
Likewise.
for all the submissions, everybody. We'll kibitz with you in a week. Until then, thanks so much, BTLs and monkeys. It's been a thin slice of heaven. Oh, and make sure you share the JetBlue letters with all your family and friends. Damashek out.